Flippity flop news, it's time for your hot news. It's Wednesday, everybody. Let's talk about it. We're going to have RX 6700 details have emerged. We've got some insanely fast laptops. This is 1440p, 165 hertz. Excite anybody? It excites me. You know what else excites me? Today's video sponsor. My friends, today's video is brought to you by the mobile gaming experience that is Raid Shadow Legends. You want dope champions, tough boss battles, millions of other active players, years of content, and regular updates coming your way? Well, Raid Shadow Legends has all of that and more. I've been playing Raid for about a year and a half now. I think I started in May of 2019, but what keeps me playing is their massive active community. So if you want to be part of the largest community in mobile gaming, come check out Raid Shadow Legends. They have over 25 million downloads, 1 million players play the game every single day, nearly 2 billion live player battles have been fought so far, and there are over 216,000 clans for you to be able to join. They have an active Discord community, Reddit community, Twitch community. Whether you're a newbie or somebody who plays it more casually like I do and doesn't want to go into the nitty gritty, the community is there to make sure that they can help you through playing the game in the best way possible. The community is definitely one of the key highlights of Raid Shadow Legends. And they're always releasing new updates, and their biggest update ever is in development right now, known as the Doom Tower. It's going to have 120 floors of super hard levels and even harder bosses. The Frost Spider, the Magma Dragon, the Tomb Crab, they all look pretty dope. So what are you waiting for? Go to the link in the video description, click on the special links, and if you are a brand new player, you're going to get 100,000 silver, 50 gems, 10 mystery shards, and 1 free champion, the Slasher. Check the links in the video description and check out Raid Shadow Legends. Now let's talk about what ultimately likely will be the undoing of the RTX 3060 Ti that we had tons of details yesterday about, and that is the RX 6700 and 6700 XT. We have some more details about them, and it looks like that they likely will be built on Navi 22 GPU technology and have up to 12 gigabytes of VRAM and come in at a power consumption less than the RTX 3060 Ti. Based on everything that we're seeing out of the RX 6800 series GPUs, we can kind of scale that idea right on down and pretty much presume that these cards, if they're priced at the same price point as the 3060 Ti's, will likely go toe-to-toe or beat what NVIDIA is coming out for the more mainstream option. But one of the interesting things that came out of this information is that apparently AMD is moving up the launch a little bit sooner than they had previously planned. Now, this could just be because they realize they can make a whole lot more money, or they realize that maybe NVIDIA might start getting stock in, and so they need to preempt that and make a whole lot more money. I mean, essentially it boils down that AMD is trying to make a whole bunch of cash here, and who can fault them? They have really good gaming technology, and it seems like it's working out for them. But Navi 22 coming with likely 12 gigabytes of VRAM compared to the 3060 Ti and 3070's paltry 8 gigabytes. Wave of the future, my friends. AMD always having more VRAM. You can see specification breakdowns right there. 40 compute units versus the 60 on the 6800 with that 12 gigabyte of VRAM as we're mentioning. And we're expecting them to launch in January, just about a month after the 3060 Ti, or about the same time that people are going to start getting their hands on them if NVIDIA ever resolves their stock issue. But let's keep on the AMD side of things for a second, because they've introduced a new feature to Precision Boost Overdrive for the Ryzen 5000 CPUs. You can now have adaptive undervolting, which, in case you're not familiar with undervolting, it reduces the power voltage going into the CPU at a given clock speed, which leads to less power draw as well as less heat output, theoretically speaking, as long as the processor can support running at a specific speed at the undervolted level. Then you have undervolting, which is good stuff. However, it's not all rainbows and sunshine for AMD side of things, because we've got some indication that even though ASRock released a BIOS that was for the B550 motherboards to support Ryzen 5000 chips a little bit earlier than AMD had anticipated, it's already been pulled, which is really intriguing, because that either means that ASRock found some sort of instability with it and pulled it for safety reasons, although every indication of the BIOS seemed to not really show that that was the case. But it could also be what AMD has done in the past, which is ask motherboard manufacturers to pull BIOSes that they didn't appreciate, such as when motherboard manufacturers were enabling PCI Express 4.0 on B450 motherboards. They told them to take it down, so they did, and then unless you had it downloaded previously, you weren't able to actually get that feature. Obviously, it's a little weird because AMD has promised the support for Ryzen 5000 on B450. They just said it'll be coming out next year, so are they telling ASRock to take it down because it's coming out too early, or is there some non-nefarious explanation explanation going on here. Speaking of nefarious, that's what Intel thinks of AMD. They're nefarious with their benchmarks and how they run on mobile, and they put out what I can only describe as a completely kind of whiny presentation about how their 11th gen CPUs on mobile are way better than Ryzen's on battery, just because look at that, there's a 38% performance drop, and oh, look at how our benchmarks are so much better if you're on battery. So oh yeah, real workloads tell the same story. We're better than AMD. Why won't anybody buy our products? Part of that might be that you're just looking at CPU benchmarks right here and not taking like full amalgamated CPU and integrated GPU into consideration, which is one of the reasons why I heavily appreciate my Ryzen mobile processors, because that iGPU with Vega is performing stunningly, whereas Tiger Lake's iGPU's Project Z in the Tiger Lake is just, it's heinous, guys. So even if I do see a larger power dip on AMD, I'm not going to really notice compared to a Tiger Lake laptop, because hey, look, my Ryzen laptop is performing better overall and lasts longer, has way better battery life. So now let's talk about NVIDIA's laptops, because we got some indication from WCCF Tech on when the RTX 30 series mobile GPU should be hitting store shelves sometime soon, probably early in 2021, with the fact that the RTX 3070 and 3080 GPUs will also be combined with Ryzen processors. This is a big deal because current gen Ryzen high-end processors such as the Ryzen 7 4800HS can't be paired with the RTX 2080 higher and mobile GPU. So it's good to see that this likely will happen with the RTX 30 series, and there's some indication that pricing is going to be pretty dang good with the RTX 3060 laptops coming in at a $999 price point, and that it'll likely start popping up from Walmart first, and that's where you're going to see the best pricing on all of this. Obviously Walmart getting more into the laptop game with their overpowered and then their EVU lineup, so Walmart might be the next place you're going to buy your gaming PC. Huzzah! Now let's talk about another gaming laptop that you might not want. Electronics announcing the world's first laptop with 1440p 165 hertz display. They're saying that these will be IPS 318 nits, so not HDR, but should have 100% sRGB coverage and only be $50 more expensive than the 1080p versions, which actually isn't too gosh dang bad. Obviously buying right now is a little weird, where I just mentioned that in Q1 we likely will be getting RTX 30 mobile, so buying an RTX 2070 Super laptop for $2,000 hurts a little bit, but you know, the options are available in case you want that. And that's what Apple seeks to give us options with their M1 chips. Apple M1X processor specifications have been revealed, at least according to leaks Apple Pro, so take this with a grain of salt, obviously, but the idea is that it's going to have 12 cores, 8 performance cores, 4 high efficiency cores for the battery life, and first coming on the MacBook Pro 16-inch, which is intriguing because the M1 is actually pretty spectacular in apps that are optimized for it, and even apps that aren't optimized to run on ARM and are just x86 translations perform as well as Intel's mobile processors. So considering the fact that they might have something that has 50% more cores and double the amount of performance cores, we could possibly see something that actually decimates not just Intel in the mobile sector, but also AMD. You just have to deal with the whole, ARM thing. Getting back to NVIDIA's desktop GPUs, it looks like the RTX 3060 Ti's mining performance got leaked by a miner who apparently already has their hands on them. According to what has been published, the 3060 Ti does 20% more performance in Ethereum than the 5700 at 25% less energy cost. So that just another sign that these cards are good for miners. Price to performance increases, and there you get miners coming in and intercepting that and being like, yes, that's our GPU, thank you. And Comcast saying, yes, that's our data. Thank you, you're gonna pay for that now. They're gonna be enforcing their 1.2 terabyte monthly data cap in 12 more states in their 39 state US territory. All of them are now gonna have it applied. There's gonna be some like grace periods that they're introducing, but they're done allowing you to just have unlimited data, because the internet is a series of tubes. It's not a big truck where you can just dump stuff onto it, okay? Again, I'm never understand why you have to put data caps on it besides money-making scenarios, because listen, it's a series of tubes, right? So the size of your tubes is really what matters. It's not like a sewage system where the more sewage you pump through it, the more that sticks and builds up, and then you have calcite that you have to like scrape off. That's not happening with the internet. So if I just have my little lane right here in this giant tube that I'm doing, and I want to do, 50 terabytes of, I don't know, YouTube videos that I'm uploading, like, I'm not affecting anybody else in this giant tube. I'm going through my tube. Anybody else got an explanation of why Comcast is doing this besides money? Because they'll charge you up to $100 extra if you start violating it. But in a surprisingly good move, it looks like Google Chrome is now going to have extensions show you how they use your data and limiting how that's going to be taking place, where you're going to have all of the approvals that you'll have to do for the extensions, just kind of like you have on Android, where you have to manually approve permissions. Now that's coming to Chrome extensions as well. And then lastly, I just want to finish off with what likely is one of the fastest PCI Express 4.0 SSDs that's now officially on the market. Sabrent's Rocket 4 Plus is now available on Amazon, where if I purchase it today, I'll get it by December 1st. $400 for 2 terabytes, but that's okay. In case you want 1 terabyte, it's only $200, which is cheaper than Samsung's 980 Pros. They're quoting that the speeds are 7.1 gigabytes per second read and 6.6 gigabytes per second write. This is heavily faster. I just switched and now it says November 30th. I could get it sooner, friends. Heck yeah. I'm not, but I'm also not going to continue this episode of Hot News any longer, but I will continue talking about today's video sponsor. Big thanks to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check them out at the link in the video description. You're going to get all of that silver gems, mystery shards, and the free champion, and you're going to get years of updated gaming. Check them out. And that's going to wrap up this episode of Hot News. Don't forget that we're going to be switching over to a new channel starting on December 1st. Hot News will be its own entity permanently, forever, moving forward, and never coming back to the UFD Tech channel. So we'll leave a link in the video description in case you want to get subscribed to that. Also down there is where you can join our Discord, I guess, and be part of the community of UFD stuff. And I'm a little lonely because Reece and Catlin left. Bye.